Welcome to TheRavensBrew. I'm Summer, and that's Molly. While Christmas shines with joy, its darkness creeps close behind. Yin and yang, hot and cold, good and evil. Tonight, we're diving into the legend of Krampus, the chilling counterpart to Santa. So grab your cocoa and settle in. It's time to meet the dark side of Christmas.
So I think Krampus is more of a gift to parents than he is to children.
Right, because he's stealing the children, Molly.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
For parents.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to keep your kid in line. Like, if you don't act right, I think it works better than Elf on the Shelf.
I mean, I would think so. This guy scares me even. I'd be having nightmares.
Poor little children.
And his sack.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, on winter solstice, the longest night of the year, the veil between worlds thins, allowing a dark creature to step into light. Krampus, the harbinger of punishment, arrives as a twisted guardian of the season. This year, let's skip Elf on the Shelf and let Krampus keep watch instead.
Towering monstrous figure.
Ashen weathered skin.
Jagged twisted horns.
Molten red glowing eyes.
Twisted feral grin.
Long serpent-like tongue.
Rusted iron chain.
Ragged ancient fur.
Clawed gnarled hands.
Birch switches.
Large woven basket.
And heavy hoofed feet.
Krampus, an ancient figure in Alpine folklore who plays a significant role in communities across Austria, Germany, and other Alpine regions, embodying the essential theme of balancing good and evil. In villages across Austria, the night of the winter solstice is marked by grand events featuring a demon-like Krampus character who follows behind Saint Nick, threatening to take away misbehaving children. These events are filled with storytelling as Krampus legends, dating back even further than those of Saint Nick, are shared among community members.
So, Summer, how do you feel about all of the Krampus videos I've tagged you in lately?
I mean, they're interesting.
Some of them are way scarier than others. I saw this video on YouTube while I was researching, and like the Krampus guys like come running, and the kids, I think they're kids, they're either kids or like, young 20s, they're sitting at this picnic table, and the Krampuses just come and like throw them off the picnic table and like beat them up and stuff. I'm like, no thank you.
Wow. No, yeah. I feel like they go a little rogue over there with this Krampus tradition, but maybe that's just me.
I think it's really rogue, but it keeps kids in line apparently. Maybe
Unhinged.
That's why.
Unhinged.
I mean, maybe that's why kids in other countries are better than ours.
That's true. Dude, I remember when I lived in Japan and I'd take my daughters on the train and they would be screaming and rolling around on the floor, and all the Japanese women would just be looking at me like, because their children, who are the same age as mine, were sitting politely on the bench.
And anyway. your kids have always been, I think your kids would scare Krampus.
I was going somewhere there too. Yeah, for real. Anyways, the tradition of Krampus instills both fear and fascination in children, deepening the holiday season's meaning and enriching the region's cultural memory, blending holiday cheer with a darker cautionary tale. Many children who grow up with the fear and fascination of Krampus later embrace the role themselves, becoming Krampus to frighten the next generation. Depending on the region, you may encounter a horrifying figure with wild hair, crazed eyes, and heavy footsteps that echo through the streets. In some areas, Krampus appears as a twisted blend of man, beast, and devil, roaming in groups that turn the town into a scene from a nightmare. Honestly, you know what that brought to mind?
What?
Man, bear, pig.
What? Man, bear,
Man,
pig?
bear, pig is? Oh, wow.
No, what is that?
Oh, Google it.
Okay, audience, I guess we're going to be Googling man, bear, pig here in a little bit.
Man, bear, pig. Yeah.
Is that like a fairy tale of the not so nice?
South Park. Man, bear, pig.
We're quoting South Park now on our show.
Listen, man, bear, pig roams the earth attacking humans. The monster is described as half man, half bear, half pig. Man, bear, pig.
You know, half, and half is a whole and a half.
I guess, yeah. Damn it.
But whatever. This Krampus guy, like, there are, like, the devil things, like, have really brought light to, like, the Catholic churches and stuff, which I found very interesting because, as they said, it's, like, before Saint Nick. So, like, I think the Catholic churches, like, have Saint Nick to, like, make light on the day versus having Krampus, which is, like, dark in the day.
That could make sense. Absolutely, Molly. Good observation.
Oh, did I just make it boring?
I don't know.
Well, then. Anyways, no matter the region, Krampus is a creature straight out of a horror film, both visually and audibly. The sound of bells, clinking chains, and bundles of sticks hanging from his costume can be heard from miles away, building a sense of dread before he even appears. Krampus likely originated from pre-Christian winter rituals. Pagan tribes in the Alpine region celebrated the winter solstice as a time when the veil between worlds thinned. Figures like Krampus embodied the wild, untamed side of nature that needed to be balanced by order. Represented by Saint Nicholas, this pagan influence gave Krampus a dual role, both as a punisher and as a figure keeping natural forces in balance. The Catholic Church viewed Krampus as a pagan relic and actively tried to suppress his presence in Alpine traditions. In the 12th century, the Church declared Krampus demonic imagery and pagan origins incompatible with Christian teachings, associated him with the devil.
I mean, that's interesting.
It is interesting, but like, they're still like doing it, so like either they got over it or people just don't care anymore. But what I wanted to say a minute ago was, think of the thought as a little kid, you're terrified of this Krampus thing coming down the road, right? And it's like this big scary thing. You hear him, you see him, and then you get to know that one day you get to dress up like him and do the same thing and like scare the crap out of other kids. Is that not cool? I think that's cool. I like to scare people and hurt people.
You don't. When's the last time you dressed up as something scary?
Every day.
I go as myself.
I really want to find a Krampus costume and wear it to your house. Like to scare the crap out of the kids.
My youngest son would be upset.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know.
But anyway. On Krampus Noct.
That is a Alpine word, so they're going to be hard to pronounce.
Right. I mean, it looks like if it were in English, it'd be Krampus Night.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. On Krampus Noct, the procession of St. Nicholas, followed by Krampus, created a visual spectacle of good versus evil. St. Nicholas wore robes of light, carrying gifts, while Krampus followed with a menacing look, chains clinking, and bells jangling. The procession of balance illustrated a cosmic struggle, bringing to life the idea that light and dark coexist, especially around the holidays. Krampus is celebrated on the night of December 5th with elaborate ceremonies, much like the town events mentioned earlier. During Krampus Noct, people of all ages gather to watch St. Nicholas parade through town, followed by the fearsome Krampus, who, unlike Santa, is a creature rather than a single human-like figure. You know what this reminds me of? In our town where we're from, we get Santa on a fire truck.
Oh, you're talking about the town we live in together.
Right. Well, one of them.
Yeah.
The
One
last
of them.
one.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand how because it's like a procession, like a parade.
I guess.
It's not scary.
No, but we get Santa on a fire truck, and Austria gets Krampus, it looks like.
Well, that's why they don't have misbehaving children in other countries.
Groups of Krampuses storm the streets, behaving destructively and threatening misbehaving children in a chaotic display of the darker side of the holiday. The morning after, on December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, children awake to either gifts as a reward for good behavior or find themselves nursing bruises. That's pretty terrible, to be honest.
It is pretty terrible.
Bad. But
I think in other countries, they're allowed to beat their kids.
Well, so I have a 16-year-old and then I have a 4-year-old. And one time last week, my 16-year-old called the Santa hotline and had the whatever AI thing they got going on over there tell my 4-year-old that he was on the naughty list. And that was enough to make him cry. So I think Europe might be going a little
rogue.
Yeah, a little unhinged with this. All you gotta say is you're on the naughty list, and like kids are like at least my kid is.
I mean, they have Elf on the Shelf, which is supposed to scare kids here. Like, our kids are wimps.
My kids always wanted Elf on the Shelf, but I am terrible at that kind of thing.
I think it would be fun. I like the ones where it's like Hershey Kisses and it's like the little elf pooped.
Oh, they have such cute ideas, but I just never have. I'm just not good with that stuff. I'm sorry, kids.
Well, we'll just bring them Krampus next year.
This year.
We really are? You're gonna let me?
No.
Oh. Well, that's mean.
Sorry, but my son will cry.
Okay.
My son is still crying about a tornado that happened like months ago.
I know. It was like every 5 minutes. Mom, tornado? Mom, tornado?
What's that noise? Is that a tornado? No. Sunny out.
Hey, Dorothy's house got taken. There's far scarier things out there. But
well, my son just keeps telling us, like reminding us that our house is made of bricks. He like says it out loud, like constantly, to reassure himself that our house will be fine.
Oh, good thinking, Elijah.
Yep.
Well, as we all know, Batman has a Joker, Harry Potter has Voldemort, and Luke Skywalker has Darth Vader. From an early age, we learn about the balance of good and evil, and Christmas is no different. Santa Claus has Krampus, the dark figure children in many regions are taught to fear. Krampus is like the Voldemort of Christmas, with tales of him stretching back further than you might imagine. But are there any real stories of Krampus? Oh boy, do I have some for y'all. So I have a couple stories off of Reddit. So Double No 244 says, I grew up in South Bavaria, near the border to Austria, and was almost peeing myself when I heard him outside. Chains were clashed against each other or other things, and he was stomping extra loud on the floor. Once I was so frightened that I crawled under the couch. Nicholas, with his shiny golden book, was nice, but he was also there to do some serious business and told me straight up what I should do better. So, like, it really does scare kids.
I bet.
Now, another person off of Reddit, it's Goofy Acid, says, the Krampus came to one of the homes of my close family and all my cousins were there. We were told that he would put bad children in his sack, and I was super scared of him. Actually, one of the most present childhood memories is when I was hiding under the table from the Krampus. Another, and the last story I'll go over, is from Vartaman off of Reddit. It says, I used to live in Barvia. And then it says the name of the town, but it is very not in English, so I'm not even going to murder it. For a while. I was a young adult back then learning wood carving. So coming from a big city, I didn't really know about all the religious things going on there until this very first Christmas time back in 2003. Holy smokes. When these actual monsters were running through the valleys and you could hear echoes and echoes of loud screaming, crying, and these ugly bells. I was living in a lonely house, so they came, set some wood on fire, and knocked on my door as if the Terminator would now try to get his new motorcycle. I was sitting in a corner in the dark basement, just waiting for this nightmare to stop, and was absolutely surprised to find my room back in the condition I left it. Gladly, my host had loads of good Bavarian beer in the fridge.
You know what struck me from that story?
What?
Houses in Bavaria have basements.
I guess so. I mean, I haven't done much research, but dude, I think I would be scared if I didn't know the tradition and then this big, like, Krampus looking figure came and knocked on my door like the Popo. I'd probably hide in a basement. I ain't got one. I'd dig one just to hide.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it when my doorbell rings at all. But if my doorbell rang and Krampus was on the other side.
Starting a fire on your front porch? Who does that? Like, that's not even...
Psychos. Psychopaths.
That's, like, super weird. Like, just being, like, a stranger and going up to somebody's house, knocking on the door, and then starting a fire.
Yeah, that's uncalled
That's
for.
That's worse.
Unnecessary.
That's worse than, like, leaving a dog a bag of dog shit and lighting it on fire. Have you seen that?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't think does anybody do that in real life? Like,
I mean, it's happened. Then you want to stomp it out and you got dog shit all over your foot. I think Krampus would frown upon that and take you for those kinds of acts.
Probably. That's naughty.
Now, in other news, in Alpine, Austria, and parts of Germany, Krampus night is when adults dress as Krampus to visit homes and give children a good scare. On this night, children might hear heavy footsteps approaching or catch a glimpse of the frightening figure outside. Traditionally, when a child has been good, St. Nicholas will reward them not only with gifts, but also a golden branch, a symbol of their good deeds throughout the year. However, for those who have misbehaved, Krampus intervenes. He takes the gifts for himself, leaving only a silver branch behind, a stark reminder of the children's naughty actions. Oh, darn, I got a silver branch, not a gold one. Gold must be a reoccurring thing because they talked about Saint Nick having the golden book, and then now he has a golden branch. So...
Wait, who does? Krampus?
No, Saint Nick. Santa Claus.
Oh.
Earlier, it said something about a golden book. Now we're with golden branches. Like, it has to be...
Well, back in the day, gold was the shit, man.
All I could think about is the flaming dog shit on someone's front door when you said that.
That's not gold. That's
no.
brown.
No. Unless it's got some corn in it.
Oh my.
But you know what's really interesting is that the light and dark comparison, because as Americans, we think of Christmas and Christmas time and this time of year for all religions to be very bright, because you have the lights and the Christmas tree and, the candles, menorahs, things like that. We don't have much dark. Whereas the other countries really bring especially in Austria and Germany, like they bring this dark to a whole new level. Like, I don't think we have anything in American tradition that is this dark other than like the devil.
No, I don't think we do either, especially during Christmas time. Like, Christmas is happy. Christmas is love and light and laughter. It is not scary man, bear, pig taking you away.
Man, bear, pig. He's a whole and a half person. Another tradition is the Krampus runs. It isn't tied to a specific date, but serves as a rowdy, chaotic spectacle. During a Krampus run, groups of men dress as the fearsome creatures, often fueled by a bit of holiday cheer, and a lot of alcohol, I suppose. Running through the streets to blow off steam while managing to scare children and entertain crowds. It's customary during Krampus runs to offer a Krampus schnapps, which is a strong distilled fruity brandy, if you didn't know.
Sounds delicious. What is it with Europe and runs, like running of the bulls, Krampus run? Like, are these 5Ks?
I mean, probably
or is everyone just like hoofing it down the street? Like, rawr.
I mean, so like the ones I've seen, like they bring Santa Claus out, right? And it's like a slow, like, nice waving parade. And then all of a sudden you hear like these bells and these like just horrifying sounds that literally sound like it's out of a horror movie. And then all of a sudden is you see these like creatures just like all around running and like they beat up old people too. They don't just pick on children. Like,
That's crazy.
Alpine, a southern Bohemian town near the Austrian border, hosts an annual celebration that claims to be the world's largest Krampus gathering. Each year, hundreds of Krampus cosplayers and thousands of spectators descend into this small town whose population is only around 7,000, meaning this event actually draws more visitors than it does residents. The Krampus parade tradition was revived there in 2012 and has only grown in size and popularity since. To honor the tradition year-round, the town maintains a permanent gallery of Krampus masks and costumes in the cellar of the former Rosenberg brewery. Kaplice has even trademarked Krampus as a brand name in the Czech Republic, aiming to make its Krampus celebrations uniquely identifiable with the town. But be warned, in some towns, the Krampus runs blur the line between tradition and real danger. Every year, Krampus runs stir up a mix of excitement and tension, and it's not uncommon for things to get just a little heated. In some towns, spectators even try to retaliate after receiving whippings from the Krampuses. Take 2013, for example. After several Krampus runs in East Tyrol, the local hospital treated over 60 people, with 8 of them being admitted for serious injuries like broken bones.
Ain't no way. Like, that is crazy. That is like the
Dude,
purge. That's
like,
the purge, like, level of craziness. Like, who's doing this? What are you guys doing? Like,
my question, okay, is it says that men dress up like this, so women can't? Because I'd like to beat up some people, but I'd be scared of the retaliation. I'd be the Krampus laying on the floor with a broken arm.
probably, yeah. Well,
But
I wouldn't want to do that because I think I have fragile bones.
I'm a dainty little flower.
I am. Yes, I have delicate bones.
Oh no, what a little teacup. But
Yes.
this is like really crazy to think that they get so outlandish that they literally have to send people to the hospital. Like, I think that, for instance, if me and Mike were to go and one of these Krampuses like messed with him, yeah, he'd be retaliating. If they mess with me, I'd probably cry.
Me too. I would cry. Yeah, I don't want no broken bone though. That hurts.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think broken bones are meant to feel good.
I don't want one.
I don't want one either. But it is very crazy how you were talking about like the running with the bulls and then like the Krampus runs, and how Europe really takes things to the next level.
It really does. And you couldn't do this in America.
No, no. You'd get battery and assault charges. Like, do they not have like rules and regulations, or is it just like Krampus Day? We know it's happening. Like, we're gonna look away and show a blind eye because this is our tradition.
I would be interested to going over there and observing, like from a balcony.
From a balcony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we'd be the people where we get the Krampus at our doors with like the wood, you know, and the fire.
No.
Because they would know that we weren't there. And they'd be like, we got to get them.
No, they don't even know I exist. I'm on my balcony. Krampus's revival began in print. In 2004, Monty Beauchamp's Krampus, the Devil of Christmas, introduced Krampus to new audiences through vintage postcards that showcased his eerie appeal. Later, Gerald Brahms' 2012 novel, Krampus, the Yule Lord, portrayed him as a morally complex anti-hero, a demon with shades of gray. That same year, Dean Kotz and Brian Joines brought Krampus into comics, where he was depicted as a modern-day punisher of the naughty, a character blending folklore with superhero-style justice. Krampus's dark mischief found its way to television with both live action and animated appearances. He showed up in the League's episode A Krampus Carol and in American Dad's Minstrel Krampus.
Sorry.
Is that a play on words for menstrual cramps?
Yes, I think so.
In video games, Krampus appears in titles like The Binding of Isaac and the arcade game Carn Evil, bringing his haunting into interactive formats.
Dude, I think we need to watch Minstrel Krampus.
I think so too.
Like, I really want to turn it on now. Like, so we need to watch Minstrel Krampus.
Yeah, we do.
I'm watching it tonight after we get off of this, because that's a really good title. Minstrel Krampus. And then I thought it was really funny how they said that they made that comic where he was like a punisher of those of the naughty. Like, out of all the words, naughty.
Right, and who else would you be punishing if it weren't the naughty?
Maybe it was the good kids.
You don't punish the good kids.
No, because some of the good kids are really not good. They're the bad ones.
Oh, that's true. They're naughty.
So, this big North American breakthrough came with the 2015 horror comedy Krampus by Michael Dougherty. This film introduced him to a wider audience, blending holiday cheer with horror and cementing Krampus as a chilling holiday icon. In cities like Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Portland, Krampus runs and parades bring the legend to life in North America. Krampus has gone beyond borders and is actually celebrated around the world now.
Never heard of a Krampus parade in America.
Me either, but now we know where they're at, so we should hit one up. We should go to LA.
I would love to go out to LA.
Where it's a little warmer. Actually, it's not really that warm this time of year. But
it's not as cold as here.
So, speaking of Krampus, Summer has 2 Krampuses at her house this week. Thing 1 and Thing 2, both boys.
Oh, okay,
remember,
yeah.
It's only men. They're little Krampuses. They're
I'd say my girls are more Krampusy.
You think so? Probably.
Krampus minstrel. Minstrel Krampus.
You're gonna get so mad hearing that.
They are. This year, as you remind your kids that Santa might bring them coal if they're bad, or that elf on the shelf is keeping watch, maybe slip in a mention of Krampus. Let them know that just like life, Christmas has its own balance of light and dark, and it's up to them to keep the scales from tipping too far one way or the other. This season, I'm taking the Krampus tradition to the streets because Santa won't be the only figure watching this Christmas. So who's ready to add a little shadow to their holiday cheer?
And as always, stay curious and be mysterious. Bye.
Bye.